Hey everybody, we got some big news this week. I know we've been gone for a few weeks, but if everybody watched our last video, you kind of know what we've been up to.
You know what's been happening to us.
Yep, we've been hunting a Wayne. Well, we got him.
Yep, he's busted.
He is currently in jail, and I know I shouldn't be happy for somebody being in jail, but some people like him deserve to be in jail.
Well, he just needs to be in jail long enough to think about what he's done and hopefully get some help.
And so, in this video, we're going to break it down. We ain't going to release too much information regarding his arrest because there's still going to be trials to come up over it all. So we can't say too much there. But we're going to break it down on kind of where we're at with that, and then where do we go from here?
Yeah, what now?
So stick around.
All that talk flying out of your mouth. It's time to put your money where your words fall out. Show me what you talking about. Yeah, everybody wants a little piece of the cake, but you gotta put a little bit of skin in the game. Come on, it's time to throw it down and show me what you got. If you think you're so hot, wanna make it to the top, you gotta hang with the big shots. Yeah, show me what you got.
Alright guys, so basically you guys, again, if you hadn't seen the previous video, I'm going to refer back to that so this video don't get too long. But obviously, we had, our bill to run off with our money, and then, the more we searched for him, the more we found out that he actually done this to a bunch of other people.
Yep.
But this week, the first part of this week was, man, absolutely insane.
It's been crazy.
We spent 3 days this week just, right on his tail, trying to find him, and just missing him by literally minutes sometimes. But finally, we got, and thanks to everybody, on YouTube, on Facebook.
Oh, we've had tons of people reaching out, giving us information, helping us. We've been coordinating with other victims. It really, when they say it takes a village, this took more than a village.
This took more than a village. This felt like it took a continent, to be honest. But but we had, again, we couldn't have gotten him in custody without everybody's help. It was almost like we had 24-hour surveillance in multiple cities from people calling in every time they'd see him or they'd see one of the vehicles or anything like that. And so we got such good intel, and without that, we would have never caught him.
It was a huge coordinated effort to catch him and actually get him behind bars. And
one of the other victims, luckily, he was able, to help coordinate the police in different counties with us, and that's what it took. Basically, when we finally found out his location, it was spanning 3 different counties. By the time they got him caught, and then he was extradited back to one of the counties where he does have warrants. There are multiple counties that he has warrants in. I won't go into all the details again because, like I say, he's still got to face some charges. Well,
and his charges are varied. They're not the same charge, but they ultimately all come down to the same premise. They're all related to theft.
Theft by deception, basically. Yeah. Some counties have got it worded a little differently, a slightly different charge, but that's basically what it comes down to, which is what he done to us. And so, as of, he ended up getting caught Thursday morning around 2:30 in the morning. And we went tonight, Wednesday night, not knowing, if we knew where he was. We had coordinated with law enforcement. Not knowing would he get away yet one more time, because we've been close a couple times before, and he always slipped out from under them. And we woke up Thursday morning to a text that they got him. And so that really made our day. Now, does that get our money back? No. We'll probably never see our money back. No. But knowing that he is behind bars,
that he can't be out there right now doing this to other families.
Yeah. And I'll tell you the crazy thing, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday was just a blur of information, tracing him down. And even on Tuesday, when we was actually right down there in the middle of it on Tuesday. I took a vacation day from work, just trying to catch this guy. And during the day on Tuesday, we got 2 more phone calls from 2 new victims.
Yes.
On Tuesday, while we was actually down there trying to hunt him down.
Well, and even the day he was arrested, we made a social media post about the fact that he had been found and was arrested, and someone else reached out to us and said that they were almost ready to sign a contract with him until they saw our post and thanked us again for posting. So that's multiple people who have not signed with him because of our posts.
Yeah, I mean the person that reached out to us, again, I'm not going to name any names, keep everybody anonymous here. But they had been trying to call him twice and was ready to sign a contract with him, and then they saw the post. So thank goodness we have that shut down. Now, he did go before a judge on Friday. Was it Friday? Yeah, Friday morning, and right now his bail has been denied.
Yes.
And so he will have to spend a little bit of time where he's at, and then, like I say, he's still got some other counties to go to, and I know other people are still trying to get more warrants from where he's done this to other people. So,
us included.
So yeah, we're still working on ours too. So we're still working on all that. We just wanted to give a big update saying that we did finally catch him, because honestly, that has basically consumed all of our free time.
Free time, what's that?
Yeah. And so we haven't had a lot of time to deal with where do we go from that now, from here with the construction process. You can see kind of where we still have just basically sticks in the air. And so now we will finally get to start focusing on that. We were so focused on getting him shut down because I did not want him doing this to somebody else. And so, we have just started talking to builders and kind of want to give you an update on where we go from here. And because I know we've been contacted by so many of you guys that have, just poured their hearts out to us that, hey, we was following your Barndominium build, we're just heartbroken, what happened to you guys. Well, but they still want to know what we're going to do. They still want us to see us build a barn dough.
A lot of people are still watching and wondering where our barn dough will go. What will it look like? They want to see us complete this, and we will complete it. Yeah,
and so for the rest of this video, we kind of want to let you know kind of what our plans are going forward right here. And then next week, make sure you tune in, because next week we kind of, hindsight's kind of 20/20 when you go through something like this. Was there flags we missed? Sure there was. Was there things we could have done differently? Absolutely.
Yes.
And so, we also have a lot of people have reached out to us that, are kind of spooked by all this and, want to know, are there any tips or any information we could give them?
We're spooked too.
Yeah. I mean, and some of his other victims that we've talked to, they're still on standstill after 6 months of this, because basically they're having some serious trust issues.
Well, and honestly, guys, we've had a few people reach out to us and they say, okay, you did your due diligence, and we feel like we really did. And we still were scammed. What are some things that we would recommend to them to save them from this kind of heartache? And so we've put a lot of thought into it, and like he said, hindsight's 20/20. There's things we noticed that we could have done differently, and next week we're going to talk to you guys about some of the things that we will do differently on our next build.
We will try to fit it in this one, but again, I hate to make too long of a video when it's basically just us talking. I know that gets boring, and so we're going to condense that into a video next week, so this week's video doesn't get too long. And so for now, let's kind of talk about where we're going to go from here. We have met a few builders and have been talking to a bunch. We've actually went to some metal suppliers here locally in town and got builders' names and numbers to talk to on guys that we know pay their bills and have a good reputation with the steel company here in town. Unfortunately, in this area, and I know this is what a lot of other people are running into down here in the South, is there's not many people that build this way. It is super, super hard to try to find somebody to build a Barndominium.
Well, and beyond that, this particular build was going to be done in an even more revolutionary way of an all-welded kit rather than a bolt-up kit. I'm sorry, it wasn't a welded kit. It was actually an all-welded house. It was not a kit.
Yeah, it was going to be custom built, on-site welded, which really gave us some flexibility to do some things we really wanted to do. That's not going to happen now. We can't find anybody that has the know-how to do it. Obviously, this guy, maybe he didn't have the know-how either, and he just scammed us, but that's another story. But so where we're going, you see, I don't know how close you can see here, but you've seen past videos where we had the footers dug, and we have the form boards up for concrete, because we was fixing to pour concrete when all this just blew up on us. And so that's going to go bye-bye. I'm calling the concrete guy on Monday. Now we made sure he was paid, and he was actually even paid for the wood here that he put up on the form boards that he left here. But he has agreed to come back and do our concrete whenever we're ready. He was a super great guy. And so what I'm going to do is reach out to him and say, hey, you know, I know we've kind of paid you for the wood here and everything like that, but I'm going to give this wood back to him, because he can use this wood every day on forms for other buildings.
And it's just sitting here
it's
going
just
to waste
sitting
right
here.
now.
We are already so far behind on the build. It's been sitting here so long that the footers that we dug are actually, you know, nature's just filling them back in. As we get rain, you know, stuff washes and it's filling them back in with mud and dirt.
It's all going to have to be redone. Yeah.
So it's going to have to be redug anyways. Here you can see how these footers that we dug, you can see the mud's already starting to slide back in where we've had so much rain. And so these footers are getting filled in anyways by nature, just doing what nature does. And so, you know, for us to go ahead and fill them in, I don't feel like it's too big of a deal, because they're going to have to be dug back out even if we continue this exact build where it's at. And so that's kind of where we're at. So that's first step. Next week we're calling the concrete guy, going to offer him the form boards back if he wants them. If not, we'll probably donate them to another concrete guy here locally. Somebody that can get some use out of them, because they're doing us no good right now.
Right.
And when we get to that point later, you know, concrete guy will, you know, put the form boards back up again.
And if you really want to be honest about it, just, you know, we've told you we have our camper set up here at the build site. When we come and stay here, it just kind of makes us angry to come out and see the form boards here and see how we've halted everything.
Yeah, I mean, last week in particular, when I was up here, when I walked out, it just pissed me off. You know, and so I got very angry about it. But we got to put that behind us. We got to move forward. So that's what's happening with that. My father-in-law actually has a tractor, so I'm actually going to borrow it and use his bucket. We're actually going to fill all the footings back in. And the reason for that is, I know people think, well, why in the world would you do that? But the reason that is, right now where our camper setting is kind of back behind the camera here, but it's kind of unlevel there. It's kind of where the lot slopes off. We're building here in LJ, so we're in the mountains.
Now,
and
you have to say our camper, it's an unlevel spot, but the camper is level.
The camper's
but we
level.
have to.
But it's up on blocks.
Yes.
Yeah, it's up on blocks, which is fine. I mean, like she said, the camper is level. We got it level, but I mean, we got multiple blocks stacked up to get it level. Well, and when I mean blocks, I mean concrete blocks. I mean, it's
right.
You know.
And to take our camper and actually go enjoy a vacation at this point would be a little more difficult.
Exactly. And so, you know, we can't just hook up to it and take off and go camping somewhere on vacation if
and
we
then
wanted
get it
to.
right back where it is, yeah.
Yeah, it was a massive undertaking to get that level. So what we're going to do is, by filling in all these footers, because they're going to have to be rig-dug anyways, because they're already filling in by nature, that will let us move the camper to where the garage site is actually supposed to be, which is level. It's graded level. We want to actually bring some more gravel in, and gravel over in that area in front of the garage and inside the garage area, and that way we can pull the camper in there and it be on a level gravel pad.
Yes.
That way, if we, you know, friends or somebody, or we want to take off somewhere and go camping on a weekend, we can literally just hook up to the camper and go back it right straight back in. That'll make us, you know, run the electric just a little ways and the water a little ways, but that's okay. We can deal with that because construction people won't be here every day at the moment.
Right.
That's the reason why we put it over here, because everything was kind of tucked out of the way, so if we need to have supplies delivered or whatever, you know, they wouldn't run over electrical and water hoses and stuff like that. But since nothing's going on right now, that won't be a big deal over there.
Well, and when we do get back under construction, we very well may put the camper back where it is now to get it out of the way. But until that time, we're going to make it a little more convenient for us.
And the second part will be trying to get these steel posts out of the ground. I don't know if we'll be able to do that with a tractor. I don't know if we'll have to hire somebody to come in here with some kind of a track hoe or a dozer. I don't know yet. But once we get the other part done, these posts are coming out of the ground. Yes. We have, in talking to some other people, we're very wary that maybe these posts are too thin walled. They're 3/16 of an inch. We're told for our build it should be a minimum of 1/4. And yeah, I know you do the math on that. That comes up to 1/16 of an inch short, which doesn't sound like much.
But when you're talking an 8,000 square foot footprint, that's a lot of weight that needs to be on these posts.
Yeah, and we don't want to risk it. You know,
Right.
if it, you know, how terrible would it be to try to use these, put all that up there, and then something collapse, something bend,
fail.
something fail, and then we've wasted all that money anyway. So
Right.
just to play it on the safe side, we're gonna pull all these up. You know, maybe down the road I can use them maybe for you know, some type of a pole barn to park a tractor in later somewhere. Use them somewhere else on the property. Something like that. You know, we don't know.
We'll figure it out.
And if I have
Yeah.
somebody that can use them that would be maybe willing to buy them and recoup some of our money, we may go that route too. We have talked to a few people about doing that. So, but that's our next steps right now. Over the next few weeks, we're gonna, you know, like I said, we'll call a concrete guy Monday, see when he can come out here and get the forms, start filling the holes, and then start pulling up these posts. Which means, obviously, if you ain't put 2 and 2 together by now, which I'm sure you have, you're all smart people, means we're starting from scratch.
Right.
And that's
We're back to
just
square
is
one.
what it's going to be. Again, I alluded to a minute ago, we haven't found anybody in this area that can claim to be an expert at building a barndominium.
Right.
We have talked to a lot of people. We've had a lot of people actually reach out to us, you know, and are wanting to help us. They're trying to figure out ways to help us. But you know, even those, you know, they may have built a barndo or two, but you know, it's really hard to find anybody that's experienced barndo builders around here.
And we've had people reach out and say, why don't you contact some of the barndominium builders out in Texas and get them to come and do it for you? But that's just not really feasible or practical.
Yeah, logistics
And,
just doesn't allow that.
If you've learned anything about us from our YouTube channel, you know we're not quitters and we don't give up, but this one's got us stumped.
Yeah, and so honestly, right now, where we're at is we may end up ordering a red steel kit for the garage,
The garage only.
and then we may end up having to be forced to stick build the house to the front of it. That is
Not
not
what we want.
ideally what we want,
Right.
but it will get us what we dreamed of. It'll just be a little bit different way of going about it.
Right.
Now, I mentioned earlier, since we are up here in the mountains, we are building on top of a ridge. We already had our plans drawn out. We had our model that you've seen on some of our videos built before we actually got all this lot cleared up here.
Right.
And so when we got it cleared, and I'll kind of show you if I can get the strings to show up on camera good enough. Okay, like here's what I was talking about, guys. If you see here, right here is the corner post of where our 12-foot porches will be. You see there's the front of the house, here's the side of the house. And so you see the string line here. Well here, that's how close it falls off. And I know the video don't do that justice, but that's a good 5 or 6 foot drop off right there, and then it continues going down the hill. And so again, like I say, once we got everything graded and we started putting up where the house is going to be, you know, obviously you can see that it's pretty tight. And again, here's the other corner of the porch, and you can see how close it is here. Spin around here and see this side. You kind of see the jut out on the post right there. That is where the garage is sticking out. So the garage doors will actually be coming out here. And while we do have a little bit of room to pull out, you know, if we wanted to wash some cars or whatever like that, we got that room. But pulling a Class A motorhome out and getting it turned around here is not going to happen. And we didn't know that until we actually started, you know, we obviously put strings up before we started putting the post up, and we was okay with that because that's what we had, and we already had the plans drawn, and we didn't want to slow down the build at that point. But now that we're having to go back and redo everything, we're like, okay, let's rethink this. Is there a way we can reorientate anything or change some dimensions to make it a little better? So that's what we're looking at. It's very tight because we are building up on a ridge. We took this ridge down as far as we could afford.
We took it down about 5 or 6 feet to level everything out. But then when we staked up the house, we basically have no yard on the front or the back, which is a little on each side, but it just drops off directly in the front and the back of the house.
Yeah, so when you take a I know we got 12-foot porches all the way around this, covered porches, but when you take a step off the front of the porch here, it's a doozy. And so, since we're having to start over from scratch, we're like, okay, do we want to reorientate the house? Is there a way we can twist it to make that better? Can we possibly scale the garage back a little bit? I don't think we can scale the house back because we're only about 2,400 square feet.
Right.
And the things that we just, want to have in there, there's really no way to scale that back.
Right.
But maybe we can turn the garage a different way. Maybe we can turn the house a different way. Maybe we can do something and get a few feet here or there so that we're not so close to the edge.
And we may decide that we're going to leave it the way it is. We just aren't sure yet.
Yeah, we've actually even started looking at different floor plans again, just to see if maybe if we switch floor plans, would it fit the lot a little better? Because basically, our dream was to be able to drive a 40-foot Class A motorhome in the garage, and I really wanted to be able to drive it out the other side and turn it around. We can't do that on this lot. Can I get it in there? Absolutely, but then I'd have to back it back out. It's very tight on the other side, coming out of the other side of the garage, just because of the way the lot lays here on top of this ridge. Now, is there ways maybe we can put a second way in later? Who knows? We've kind of thought of that, but it is pretty steep, so I don't know that would work, especially with a Class A. And so we're just rethinking everything. Since we've been kind of forced into this position, I think we owe it to ourselves to just stop, breathe, and reevaluate everything.
Exactly.
And so, if you guys are out there facing anything like that, it's okay just to take a step back. One of the favorite things I love to tell people, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. And I felt like, in the middle of all this, that's kind of where we was. And so we've got the time. We got to recoup this money anyways, somehow or another. We got to make more money somewhere or sell something to recoup this money. And so we've got the time. And so if we got the time, I feel like we owe it to ourselves to make sure that we look at everything.
Yes, every option.
And so that's basically it this week, guys. Speaking of that, I got really criticized in my last video for saying guys too much. Let me explain something to you guys. Yes, I said guys again.
Don't be ugly.
I'm not trying to be ugly. I'm in the South. I'm not always politically correct, and I don't mean not to be. I never want to disrespect anybody. But that's the way I grew up. Everybody was guys. She's a guy.
Yeah. When we say guys, it means everybody.
And so,
it's just
again,
a Southern thing.
I didn't mean to offend anybody in the last video by saying guys so much. Yes, I know there's ladies, girls, whatever you want to call everybody nowadays. I can't keep up with it. There's so many new names added every day. I'm just me, guys. So if I offended somebody by saying guys, I'm sorry. But will I continue doing it? Yes. Because I'm 51 years old. I'm too old to change, I feel like. I'm just kind of ornery that way. But again, somebody did, and I say all that in fun, really I do. It did make me a little mad when I first got it. But somebody did send us an email commenting on that, and I didn't realize I was doing it, to be honest.
It was not intentional, and
it was not intentional, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but that's just the way I talk. When I'm talking around people, when I'm talking around friends, they know me. They know what I mean. And again, not trying to exclude women in any way.
No.
I love my woman. So.
And I love my man.
And so, did want to clear that up because I think that was actually somebody that subscribed to our channel,
right,
even though that came about.
It was a YouTube comment, so we're sorry for that, but
But
this is
again,
just who we are.
I don't mean to offend anybody. It's just the way I talk, and I've talked that way for so long. I'm country. I know it's funny because we have people reach out on our YouTube video. It's like, you're from North Georgia, aren't you? Yeah, you can tell from my voice. So, anyways, just wanted to wrap it up with that, saying that. We hope you tune in next week because we are going to try to address some of the things that went wrong that maybe we could have done differently.
And things that we will definitely do differently next time.
Absolutely. We have learned some things. We've had a lot of investigators, detectives, even from other states reach out to us and say, hey, here's some things you can put into place to help protect yourself. And so we want to share those comments and that advice. To try to help you guys because, even in trying to talk to other builders, we see all these other people that keep posting about, oh, it happened to us in another state. You know,
It's
this
rampant.
builder was trying to cheat us, and even if some of them was even from these manufacturers that you order the kits from.
Right.
Well, they're taking these
Delivering,
people money, and
yeah.
then they never deliver the building. So,
Right.
so we're going to try to cover all that to try to help. You know, will it stop it? No. I wish it was that easy. I wish we could put all these bad guys out of business, and I wish we could you know, help these good businesses prosper.
Succeed. Mm-hmm.
Because I know they're out there. They've got to be out there. I mean, we see these beautiful barndominiums going up out west in Texas and
we
Oklahoma.
want one so badly.
And yeah, we want one here so badly, and we just can't seem to get traction on getting a builder. So we're going to address all that, maybe to help you guys going forward too. Because I mean, you don't want to get in the middle of this. This has been a mess.
It's been
a
horrible.
nightmare.
It's been horrible, and honestly, we're lucky.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we've lost a lot of money, but we have met some of these victims of this particular contractor. They sold everything.
Yes.
You know, there are families who are raising their children in a camper now because they thought they'd be in their new home by the end of the year, and then it never appeared, and their money's gone.
Yeah.
There are other people who have gotten further in their build with him than we did, and they've had to tear everything down and start over.
Yeah.
And
When we
so-
posted that we caught this guy the other day, one of those families reached out to us and said that when they brought the inspector back out, they had to tear everything. They had to tear everything down all the way back down to the concrete pad.
Well, and that particular one of those builds was actually being built over a basement.
Yes.
And so they had their basement concrete poured, they had their walls poured, they had the beams up, and they had even gotten their flooring for their first floor was in, or the floor trusses.
Well, yeah.
And then the trusses over the top, everything had to be taken down. So it's going to cost us quite a bit to destruct the things that he did put up, but there are so many more that had so much more that has to be torn down. And heaven forbid we had gotten further into it and continued the build and had something fail and it destroyed our home.
Yep.
So even though it's horrible, there is a silver lining.
Yeah. I always say it could always be worse.
Yes.
And so we are blessed. Sorry for that noise. That is our air conditioner camper kicking on. Our air conditioner kicking on. Hopefully the camera don't pick it up too bad while we conclude here. But guys, again, tune in next week. We think we're going to have a lot of useful tips for you. And as we start tearing this apart, we'll definitely shoot some videos of tearing everything down, how we go about that, and we will absolutely pick back up as soon as we start back building again.
Yes.
To date this video, we're already into August here. It's going to be coming back in the fall, which gets into bad weather up here, so it may be springtime before we break ground again on another barndominium.
Right.
And I hate to say that. I hate to put everybody off. Everybody was so excited to see this going up.
We had full intentions to have Christmas in our new home this year.
Yeah, that was our goal.
Now this is what we've got.
And so, but we will. Don't give up on us, guys. We will continue our barndominium build, and we will show you how we adapt, even if we have to maybe stick build part of it, which isn't
Right.
typical barndominium. But we'll tell you how we overcome and how we figure it out and get it done, and I can't wait to show everyone the finished product one of these days.
Definitely. And keep in mind as well, I know there's a lot of people out there that are really afraid right now to build. We didn't put this video out there to scare anybody
absolutely
or
not.
to crush anybody's dreams. We just wanted to make sure people act in the smartest possible way. Be as diligent as you can to get what you deserve and what's right. And if somebody does happen to take advantage of you, fight like hell to get them put away.
That's right. One thing we did pick up through all this, law enforcement, and I love law enforcement.
Oh, we love our police force.
We love our police force, but I'm here to tell you, trying to convince them that this is a criminal act and not a civil act has been a fight. It's been a fight for us. It's been a fight for so many other victims in his case, and you can't give up. I mean, I'm telling you what, we have fought every single day to get him put in jail.
Well, and it's not the police officer's fault. It's actually the state laws that
Exactly.
are protecting the criminals, and the police officers are helping us to the fullest extent they can.
Yeah, but they're limited by how the law is written.
Right, they are very limited, and that's why we alluded earlier to the fact that we don't actually have a warrant for him yet.
No.
Because our local authorities have not issued that warrant. They will not see it as a criminal case yet.
Yeah, they're Hopefully, he told us he's going before the DA first of next week. Hopefully, we'll get that done next week and can get a warrant for him and add on while he's in jail, while we know where he's at. But yeah, don't give up, guys. You know, too many times I see posts out there on Facebook and said, "Oh yeah, I've got ripped off by this company," but they won't name the company. Or they won't name the guy that ripped them off.
Right.
How does that do anything? If somebody has done you wrong and you have proof, I understand people are afraid about getting sued for being liable and bad-mouthing somebody.
And we're not telling anybody to post anything unless they have absolute rock-solid proof.
Yes. But if you've got proof of what has happened, please tell others so it saves them the misery you went through.
Exactly.
So anyways, that's it for this video, guys. We will be back next week, hopefully with some helpful hints.
Yep.
And things to watch out for, things to do while you're going through your build. And hope to see you then.
Bye, guys. Have a great week.